All right, so this is a BAK Revolver X4S rolling bed cover. And the way it works is under here, you've got this little pull thing. There's one over there too, if you happen to be on that side of the truck. And you pull it and it releases, and then you roll it up just like this. And then once you get to the top, it has a little strap, and you pull that out and you secure it. It's also got a strap on the other side, just in case you happen to be over there, and you can secure it over there. So this bed cover has been good for a while. So this is actually my 6th year with a BAK Revolver bed cover. The thing is though, this is my 4th bed cover, the 4th BAK Revolver. And it took a little while to get here, but I think it's finally a good one. They finally got it mostly right. So yeah, 4th BAK Revolver in 6 years. And the way we got here is there's different versions of the BAK Revolver. There is the Revolver X2, and that one is shiny, and it has the same rubber stuff on it now anyways. Then there is the BAK Revolver X4S. There used to be just the X4, but they got rid of that one. So the X4S is just it's more of a matte color instead of the shiny black like the X2, and then you get the black aluminum instead of the shiny aluminum. It's $100 more. I'm not sure that it's really worth it, but this is what I have, but it's not what I chose. So I mentioned this is the 4th one in 6 years. So what happened is I originally bought the BAK Revolver X4 in December 2018 for almost $900. It was like $890. These days, these are more like $1,200, $1,300. So it shows you how much they've come up since 6 years ago. They've almost, what is that? A 50% price increase in 6 years? That's kind of a lot. But maybe the reason they've had to increase the price is because they kept sending me truck bed covers. Like every 6 months, they would send me a new one. So what happened is I bought the Revolver X4 and I live in Texas. And every summer it would get hot, and these used to be covered in felt instead of right now it's rubber right here. They used to have these felt strips that ran all the way down the bed cover, and then like every summer when it got hot in July, the glue would start melting and they would fall right off. The good news is though, that meant I got a new bed cover like every 6 months. So the first one, yeah, I bought it in December. I think it lasted until like July, and then it started melting. So they sent me a new one under warranty. That one lasted about a year until it got hot again and it melted. And then they sent me this one right here. So at some point they got smart. They got rid of the felt. They realized the felt was just falling off. They're having to send people new truck bed covers all the time. They wouldn't just send you like a felt kit or something. They send you an entirely new truck bed cover. And so they replaced the felt with this rubber here. And people are still divided on what it's for. I think I've kind of come to think it's to protect the bed cover when it rolls up. You don't want the aluminum like pinching the vinyl or whatever this is right here. It also, if it gets hot, you can touch the rubber instead of the aluminum, and then your hand is not as hot. So yeah, if there is one thing about buying, I guess, a BAK truck bed cover, they do have good warranty support. So what happened is the first time the felt melted off, they said, hey, we're gonna send you a new one, but before we send you the new one, we need you to destroy the first one. So we did. Alan and I, we took it on a ride through a field, and then we wanted to see if it was bulletproof. Turns out it's not, and then we blew it up. The second one, they asked me to cut an X in the top of it before they would send me a new one, which was kind of dumb because then I had to drive around for 2 weeks with like an X in my truck bed cover, like covered up with duct tape. But I got another one. And then the last one that failed, they asked me to drill a few holes in it, send them a picture of that, and I didn't have to blow it up. So after that last one, they switched out to, yeah, these rubber things. There's no felt anymore. The slats are also black. They used to be aluminum colored. And so I have had this specific truck bed cover for 3 years now. And so again, yeah, this is the Revolver X4S. Whenever I was looking for truck bed covers, I wanted one that rolled up on the outside. I didn't like the ones that rolled up inside and use your bed space. I know they have the tri-fold ones out there. Whenever I first looked into that, whatever material they were made out of, it absorbed water like a sponge. I had some friends who had them and they didn't like them because they turned into sponges every time it rained. I'm told these days they're better now. They don't absorb water, but what happens is, so tri-fold, right? You fold like one panel, two panel, and then the last panel, when you fold it up, you block like all of your rear window and you can't see out of it whenever you have it folded up. So I like the rolling cover is better because even though it's rolling up outside of the truck, you can still see out your window when it's rolled up. So yeah, rolling cover, and the way this works is you have to put these frame rails in here, and so the cover rolls down this. It's got little things that go underneath here on the cover, and whenever the last one goes down, it locks it into place, so then your entire bed cover is locked. The only way to open it is either to open the tailgate and pull that little latch that we saw a second ago, or, you know, grab a screwdriver and just crack it open, because yeah, you can break into these. Are they waterproof? No. Are they very water resistant, yes. So I mean, if you're on the highway driving down the road and it's raining, some water is going to get in your truck bed, but it's going to stay like, you know, in these little channels right here. It won't really get on the stuff that you have in there if it's sitting on top of whatever these are called, these ribs. So pretty happy with that. The truck bed cover lets you, like, you know, almost have the protection of an SUV, even though you don't, from rain and water and stuff. And then like this one, you can get it out pretty much almost 100% out of the way by rolling it up whenever you need to stick big stuff in your bed. Now, the last video I made about this cover when I got it, I was like, oh, we got the perfect truck bed cover. And wouldn't you know it, a week after I make that video, driving down the highway, my truck bed cover is flapping in the wind, man. So what happened is these back latches right here, these were secured, but the problem was these rails that I just mentioned that the truck bed rolls into, it turns out they were too narrow. So BAK somehow messed up, and it wasn't just me. I went on the internet afterwards, found other people were having this problem. These rails were too narrow, and as you can see right here, I've got a shim in there. So I had to shim the rail out from the side of the truck bed almost 1/4 of an inch, because what was happening is these are little things that go in that rail and lock down. They weren't able to go underneath and get pressed down to lock down. So what happened is it was lashed to the end, secured at the front by bolts, and then the middle was just flopping around in the wind. So, you know, immediately after I say this is a great truck bed cover, we have that problem. And then this happened. Well, this happened years later. So see us doing that, it won't go down. Well, it will, it just takes a little bit of finesse. So what's happening is, so one of the problems I had before, right, was I used to park my truck out in the sun. These days, I'm lucky enough to be able to park it in the garage. People have reported that the vinyl on these wears away pretty quickly. Again, this one's 3 years old. It still looks really good, but you can tell it's starting to stretch out, and that's what's happening here. So without the felt on the bottom here, the vinyl is the only thing that holds all these aluminum rails together. And so these last few rails, they get, you know, rolled up the tightest. And there was one day I left it rolled up for, I don't know, a week, half a week, something like that. When I went to put it back down, it was doing that. And the reason it is doing this is because this rail right here, or this slat, whatever we're gonna call them, it's coming out of its hinge. So like each one of these slats is basically a hurricane hinge. And with the vinyl starting to get stretched out, I guess, it doesn't want to go perfectly back in. You have to kind of guide it back into its slots, which you can see I just did. It's not really hard to do, but it is something you have to think about. It doesn't happen every time. It happens occasionally. I don't know why, just I guess because, you know, again, the vinyl is getting stretched out. So yeah, we had the rails that were too narrow, which hopefully you don't get rails that are too narrow. We have the vinyl that is getting a little bit stretched out. And the only other part of this truck bed cover that is kind of bad is something other people have told me. So in the video where I put this truck bed cover on, I noticed that these end caps right here, they popped off really easily. While I was installing the bed cover, one of them just popped off. It just, they're just held in with these little plastic tabs right here. I just happened to put my thumb on one and it just popped right off. So in my video, what I did is I glued them down. I got just some Gorilla Glue. You can see it's still there right today. I put some Gorilla Glue on those tabs and glued those tabs in. Other people have seen that video, other people who did not glue their tabs down, and they said, hey, I did not glue my tabs down like you did, and guess what? I lost one of these end caps or whatever they're called. And turns out BAK doesn't sell them. You can't just buy an end cap. You have to buy a whole new $1,300 bed cover if you want to get your end caps back. Or I guess you could 3D print these. Like if somebody has a 3D printer, they're just plastic. Or maybe you could put some metal on there, or I don't know. You could put something else on there, but it's not closing. There we go. Now it closes. So after 3 years, yes, my perfect truck bed cover is starting to fail. It's not a big problem yet. It may be as time goes on. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Would I buy a BAK Revolver again? I don't know. So I haven't looked at the truck bed market in a long time. I don't know exactly what is out there. I do, as I mentioned, I like this style of truck bed cover that rolls up out of the truck bed, stays down low so you can see out, doesn't get in the way of anything in here. The fact that they're now $1,300, $1,400, I'd probably start looking again just to see what else was out there. But I mean, BAK did have great customer support. Again, this is my 4th bed cover. There was really no questions. They just said, hey, like, do weird things to it, destroy it, cut necks in it, drill holes in it. I really like the one where we blew it up though. I wish they would ask us to do that more often. So my answer is maybe. Despite the fact that the vinyl is starting to give way and I got the wrong size rail, I still like it. It still works well for me. But yeah, I'd look around to see what else was out there, if there were any other alternatives. So that's kind of it, you know, 6 years with the BAK Revolver, or 4 of them. But you may be wondering what happened to the other ones, because in the last video I said, hey, if y'all have any ideas, let me know what we should do with the other ones. And we did do something. I don't know if you saw it, but one July 4th, we had, so the first one we blew up, right? That one was gone. But the other ones, I kept the other ones because, you know, good aluminum, right? And then one 4th of July, Alan and I got together and we turned those other 2 truck beds into a boat. So yeah, 4th of July, we made a boat, we loaded it with fireworks, and then we took it out on a lake and we shot the fireworks off, and then it kind of started to sink. Oh God.
We've exhausted all but one of our munitions, but more concerningly, we are taking on like a little bit of water.
So yeah, I brought it back home actually, and I thought I was going to like hang it up in the shop as a decoration, you know, like a boat on the ceiling that we could occasionally let down. I was planning to put a hoist on it, and then we could take it out in the lake whenever we wanted to and sink again. But it was so heavy, and there's really not that much room in here, not as much as I thought there was going to be anyway. And so this is what remains of the Betsy Ross, the Bob Ross, whatever you want to call it. The truck beds are now gone, but we remember them fondly. So that's it for today. Good luck if you're buying a truck bed cover, and until next time, I have another boat to make.